Hello, everyone. It's Friday, August the 9th, and we got a bunch of things to go through. Thanks for being with us and everything. Going to lead off with a tough one. That's all there is to it. But we lost another coal miner, and we lost a coal miner at the Lear Mining Complex, and they had a safety record that was unbelievable, and they've done a lot of really good work. And but Joe Crandall, we lost him, and it's just terrible. I've said it 10 million times because I'm very, very, very familiar with what goes on in a coal mine, what goes on in deep mines, our surface mines as well. It's not very often that we lose a surface miner. We lost a lady not long ago, but nevertheless. I'm telling you, it's surely an honorable, but it is a tough business, and we should be so respectful and thankful of our miners every single day. You know, a lot of times, and I don't see any place for this at all, and I think it's a crying shame, but a lot of times we kick our coal industry. This nation, wants rid of these people, rid of this industry in a lot of ways at times, and that's why, whether it's the Biden administration or the Harris administration, it's a crying, pitiful shame, that we owe so much to our coal miners and to the mining industry, and absolutely, you can put this in stone. I'll never waver. I'll stand right with them, arm in arm, forevermore. And I love them. And to Joe Crandall and his family and all of his loved ones, all I can say is we've lost a hero in my book. So please keep your prayers with this great man and all of his loved ones and all of our miners in every way. Okay, we called a state of preparedness, and it looked like we were going to have some great big rains and a lot of flooding, and we surely have had some significant rains, some high winds, and potential flooding. I am announcing today that there's a new grant program that's out there to help our public agencies with getting and distributing water to our farmers, where we're having, significant drought problems and everything. There's no question that the rains, I'm sure, hit the Eastern Panhandle in a pretty significant way, as well as areas in the eastern side of West Virginia, the southern counties, Greenbrier and others. I really thought we were going to get more rain in Greenbrier County. I wish that we had it, to tell you the truth. We've got several hundred acres of crops right there in Greenbrier County, and it's been dry. It's really been pretty tough. We've been blessed that we've gotten enough rain through pollination on the corn and everything for it to be pretty decent, but it's dry. So, think about our forest and think about all the different things that are available, and you can find out more information, on these grant programs in regard to moving water around and everything, amongst other things. I'm sure if you'll go to grants.wv.gov or check with our West Virginia Division of Forestry. This is a neat one too. Brian Abraham, my chief of staff, has just been promoted to a brigadier general position as a member of the National Guard in the Armed Forces. A brigadier general is a one-star general officer. I mean, any way you cut it, when you become a general, it's big time stuff. So a lot of people say that Brian runs our office like a general and everything, but he's done a great job for me here. He's a great friend. It's an incredible family, and it's a tremendous honor. And we congratulate Brian, his entire family, Stephanie, everyone in a big way. And I'm telling you, it's just amazing. That's all there is to it. You know, this is an achievement that, you know, is just unprecedented in many ways. But Brian, great job. Really proud. Okay, the Twin Falls Nature Center. You know, I'm thrilled to announce that now that the Nature Center at Twin Falls State Park is officially reopened. We've spent $50,000, not a lot of money there, brought it into the main lodge and everything. I think you'll really enjoy it. There's a lot of good stuff, you know, going on at Twin Falls right now. And Twin Falls in Wyoming County, and if you get the chance and stop by, it's not far out of Beckley, and on the way to Pineville, not very far at all. And stop in and see this incredible state park. A lot of good stuff going on at Twin Falls. Okay, you know, the fall foliage map has just been released, and you know, it's the prediction of the first fall foliage and everything. I can't believe that it's almost football season. It's almost fall. I mean, you know, where does time go? But that's the map, and it's up right there and everything. West Virginia shows itself off surely in the fall, and in fact, all the seasons. But God really puts on a display in the fall in West Virginia. So a lot of visitors and a lot of beautiful stuff in West Virginia in the fall. The Kakapen Mountain Bike Trail. You know, we broke ground on a $3.5 million project to build 35 miles of brand new, professionally designed mountain bike trails at Kakapen State Park and everything. The largest mountain bike trail project ever in the state of West Virginia. It always tickles me to say the largest, the most, West Virginia's first, on and on and on. So many good things happening in West Virginia. You know, we're really tickled for Kakapen. We've got a project going into Rand, West Virginia, you know, that is going to rebuild our storm sewers and long-standing drainage problems in Rand. It's a $5.5 million project. Happy to be able to do this and everything. I was at Rand not long ago and everything, but, you know, a lot of good things in that community and everything. We think about Randy Moss when we think about Rand, but so many folks in that community need the help. This just makes our community stronger. It makes more and more people want to come to West Virginia. All these projects we've been doing all over the place and everything just make us better and better and better. You know, I don't have that much time left, 5 more months. But with all that, just keep it going, West Virginia. Absolutely, you're showing off to the world right now. Just keep it going in every way. Corridor H, you know, what I really wanted to do, you know, was to finish Corridor H, you know, as far as get all of the projects at least on the books and out to bid and going before we went out the door and everything. It's been a goal that to get every section of Corridor H under contract before the end of this year. So we're working it and everything, and I'm excited to share that the West Virginia Division of Highways is about to open a bid, you know, open the bid on the next Kearns to Parsons section of Corridor H. So more good stuff happening on Corridor H. And you know, the way I have seen it, you know, the roads all over the state are unbelievably important. There's no question about that. Getting to the convenience store was a real problem before. No question that we're a lot better off. But big projects, 17 bridges in Wheeling and on and on and on. You know, absolutely, the great big bridge right out here, you know, on 64 and everything, not far out of Charleston and everything, heading towards Huntington. So many projects that we've done. But I'm going to tell you, and you better listen, there is no project any more important in the state of West Virginia than Corridor H. And to me, the second most important project is the Coalfield Expressway projects and everything, because it connects the southern part of the state to the world. Now, with all that being said, there's so many others There's so many others that's unbelievable, and they're all important. And I know they're super important to people in those communities. But just remember, quarter H is huge. And so we're close. We're close on quarter H. We had a tire burn situation in Monroe County, right outside of Peterstown. You know, it was a gigantic pile of tires and everything, and could have been kind of nasty and everything. We got it under control now. That's good. Great work by everybody involved, from the highway department to all the fire departments to, you know, DEP to DOT, the emergency management. You know, I'm sure forestry was involved. So many different people and everything. Good work. Could have been nasty, but wasn't great. But we got it under control. You know, in Wyoming right now, a lot of forest fires, and some of them dadgum bad. You know, I have every summer. I went to Wyoming forever and fly fished. My dad took me out there for the first time. I guess I was 18, and he was going out there because one of the big giant coal companies wanted him to go out there and try to just do some mapping and look into these unbelievable coal seams. You know, Dad was one of the pioneers out there in Wyoming, you know, about the coal seams and the big coal reserves in the state of Wyoming long, long, long ago. But with all that being said, he took me with him because he could see that the waters were unbelievable, and he knew I loved to fish, and he loved to fish as well. And we went out there and fly fished, and then after that, you know, I went back over and over and over with Dad sometimes without him and everything, and just got to know a bunch of people out there. It's an incredible, incredible area of the world. I understand that they've got some really big-time fires going on. We have had 10 very brave members of the West Virginia Forestry, along with 10 civilians and everything, that are on the ground fighting these devastating blazes, which have spread over 30,000 acres out there. And they're there right now doing great work, trying to help our neighbors and everything to make things better for them. So thanks so much to them. This morning we went to the volunteer firemen and everything, the Firemen's Association's convention and everything, and signed a ceremonial signing of House Bill 5128, and you know, which got $12 million to the volunteer fire departments across West Virginia, our first responders, including EMS folks, and right there you see us, and with absolutely, in my book, a bunch of heroes. The very, very people that truly do run to the fire, and they do it all the time, and they are the backbones of our communities. They're volunteers, the backbones of our communities and everything. It is so important and everything. Really a great, great, great group of people. I was really honored to be able to be there with them. They said it had been a long, long, long time since the governor had been with them, and it was a big honor for me. And so nevertheless, you know, you're looking right at the faces of, in my opinion, true heroes. People that you call when things are at their worst. And what do? They come running to help all of us. So God bless each and every one of them. And it was a big time, like I said, honor for me to be there. Breeze is announcing a flight to New York City. It says the flight will be from Charleston to Newark Liberty International Airport. Now, you know, and you know, it doesn't seem like my dream trip, but to be perfectly honest, if we're going to be able to go into Newark and get into New York City and everything, there's a lot of folks and lots of, you know, that can be really beneficial to. I want to congratulate Kathy. You know, now we're up to 33 therapy dogs that have been placed into schools. Yesterday she went to Doddridge County High School. You know, when she left the house, I don't know the name of the dog, Chloe. Chloe's the name of the dog and everything. When Kathy left the house yesterday morning really, really early, 7 hour drive, 3.5 each way and everything, absolutely great stuff. And, you know, look, I am telling you, I've told you 50,000 times, but communities and schools in West Virginia is surely different than a national program. But in West Virginia, what's happened in West Virginia with communities and schools is unbelievable. And this is Kathy calling right now. Hold on just one second. Hold it, if I can get the phone to work. Just a second. Kathy, I'm talking about you right now in the briefing, but I'll call you back, okay? Okay, but anyway, just listen. Communities and schools and what's happened and everything is, if you haven't been in a school and you haven't seen what's going on with communities and schools, you need to go look. You need to go see it. You wouldn't believe it. I think it's in 270 schools now, about 120,000 kids that are trying to help and doing stuff for. You know, it's folks that have, you know, things as small as toothpaste or food or a jacket or a kind hand or absolutely advice, you know, as to, you know, to be able to help a child through a problem. You know, absolutely with all in me, you should go look, because these kids, a lot of them weren't coming to school or didn't want to come to school. Absolutely, a lot of them were disruptive in classrooms. And this is, and it has changed the whole landscape of the school in so many different ways. It's really something. And now the therapy dog program and everything, these dogs are really expensive. But absolutely, you know, anybody would tell you at these schools, you know, that if that dog is there every day and the kids are able to just sit down with the dog, a lot of kids are reading to the dogs or whatever it may be, those dogs really just amp down the stress levels or the you know, the things that are going on, the tough stuff. That's Kathy right there petting the dog and petting Chloe. But absolutely good stuff. We should be very, very, very proud and very thankful for this program and everything. It's a great work, Kathy. I guess the last thing I have, or the next to the last thing I've got, is another announcement that we have now been 20 years of workers' comp reductions and everything, and the cost of workers' comp in West Virginia is decreasing by another 9.1%, you know, and the latest filing represents the 20th consecutive year that we have decreased workers' compensation in West Virginia. It's been an amazing program. This will save, you know, our businesses another $15 million this year, $15 million to pump back into our economy and everything, good stuff. But over the entire time, those 20 years, the cumulative dollars that we have absolutely decreased is now in excess of $481 million. You know, it is, it's unbelievable. And what it shows us or signals is an improvement in workplace safety and efficiency, and just being more efficient, you know, in our payout to insurers and everything. It's good stuff. So that's all I've got. We'll take your questions, and thank you again.
All right, Governor, thank you. We'll now take questions from members of the media. Our first question today is from Mark Curtis with Nexstar Media.
Good afternoon, Governor. And first, I'd like to congratulate Brian Abraham on his promotion to Brigadier General. He's been very supportive of my family and my daughter, who's a captain now in the National Guard and Army. And so congrats to Brian. It's a great honor. Governor, this Sunday will mark 2 weeks until the legislature comes to town for interim committee meetings. Have you made up your mind on calling a special session during that time to deal with your proposed 5% tax cut and also the assistance for childcare for families, and what might else be on the call? And please, if you could, in your answer, justify why you want that 5% tax cut and why you want the childcare help for families and anything else you have on the call.
Well, Mark, tell Allie we love her and really proud of her too, you know. But and Allie's a captain, and you know, and we know how proud her daddy is, Mark, of Allie. But Mark, we're still working with the legislature, and we're working with them nonstop. We're talking to the leadership and everything, and we'll get this ironed out as far as when to go on the special session. You know, do I still want to push for the child care tax credit or push for the 5%? Absolutely, without any question. Your question was, well, what, you know, why do you want this and everything? Well, first of all, you know, Mark, it's not our money. It's the voters' money. It's Toby and Edith's money. And that's number one. Secondly, inflation is, you know, eating everybody's lunch. I mean, for crying out loud, everywhere you turn, whether it's at the gas pump or it's going through Arby's, you know, it doesn't matter. It's just everywhere you turn, the grocery stores, wherever it may be, you know. And so with all that being said, we had a $826.6 million surplus. We've got 400 plus interest dollars that are in the income tax reserve fund, rainy day fund. You know, we've got well over $1 billion in our rainy day fund, you know, and so with all that being said, we can afford it, you know. So the other flip side of it is this is, Mark, if we can do 4%, which we triggered, and we could do another 5%, we'd be at 30%. You know, we could push it even beyond that. You know, there are folks within the legislature that would like to see us push it beyond that, you know. But, you know, I'm willing to listen, I'm willing to talk and everything, but I absolutely want to first and foremost mind the store properly, run through the finish line and pass the torch, and do so very proudly, you know, to someone else, but to do so minding the store properly. You know, I don't want to be extravagant. We've never done that. We don't have our pet projects and all that, but when it really boils down to it, Mark, we can do this, and every time we get closer and closer and closer to being able to get rid of our personal income tax, there is nothing, I don't care what anybody says, there is nothing that will drive more goodness to the state of West Virginia than getting rid of your personal income tax. So that's why, and there's nothing else. You know, the faster we can do it, the faster we'll be in much better shape. And so can we afford to do it? Absolutely. We've vetted it and vetted it and vetted it, and we've shared and shared and shared with the legislature. We'll continue to do so. And can we go a little faster than even that? Well, of course we could, and I'm willing to listen. But don't know that that's the wise thing to do, but I'm willing to listen. And we'll let you know. We'll let you know real soon. Okay. Thanks, Mark.
All right, thank you, Mark. Next up is Beth Sargent with the Gazette-Mail.
Hey, Governor, it's Beth with the Gazette-Mail. Thanks for taking my question. Hey, my question is about the Greenbrier. You know, you saved the Greenbrier back in 2009, and clearly you and your family, they're heavily invested in its present, its future. Can you speak to what you and your family are doing right now to avoid the reported auction of the hotel later this month? Do you believe it can be avoided? And respectfully, why has bankruptcy not been an option? Thank you.
Well, Beth, let's hope like crazy that bankruptcy doesn't come on the table. But Beth, this situation, this latest situation, you know, there's time. I mean, I'm not going to deny this at all. You know, there's times when things have been really tough, and I could say to you that you know, while I'm being your governor, and that's my first and foremost responsibility, you know, if I'd have been on the job all the time, I may have been able to make things a little better or a little easier because just experience and knowledge versus my son and daughter. But but I do really believe they've done an amazing job. And as far as avoiding this situation or fixing this situation, I believe with all in me that it'll get resolved and it'll get fixed and everything. And you know, I've got a lot of inside baseball information I can't give you right now on all that, but I think it absolutely will get resolved. You know, from the standpoint, Beth, of how did this happen? I mean, because, you know, you're kind enough to say, I did save the Greenbrier at one point in time, and it was in a real quagmire and everything back, I guess, in 2009 or 10, right through there in that time period. You know, I'll do the same thing again, and I'll do it right now, you know. But with all that being said, Beth, this situation is, I mean, this is so peculiar, it's unbelievable. And if I could just tell you the high level stuff about this situation is, you know, we had a partnership and a loan and great friends in JP Morgan, and that way forever and a day. You know, the lead guy got sick and got cancer, and then from that, and I think the chemotherapy, he had a heart attack and had lots of real big issues and everything. And he's really good friend, really good friend. And I'm talking about high up in JP Morgan. And then, you know, and then right behind that, the peculiar thing about this is this loan was paid down from a level of hundreds of millions of dollars all the way down to like $9.4 million. And then from that, you know, what happened was totally unbeknownst to us in any way, they sold the loan. Well, it makes no sense unless it was politically driven 100%. 100%. This is all about Jim Justice running for the Senate. This is all about Jim Justice being the one that flips the United States Senate. This is what this is all about. It's not about anything but that. You know, it's about trying to twist Jim Justice or hurt Jim Justice from a political standpoint. There is no question whatsoever that it's about anything but that. And with that being said, think about this. Beth, if it were not that, would you not think that we would have gotten a call from JP Morgan and said, you know, we're going to sell this loan? Would you not think that Carter Bank would have gotten a call and said, we're going to sell this loan? I mean, would you not think that it would have been offered to Carter Bank at the 9.4 versus selling it for maybe 4 or 5? I mean, how does any of this make any sense whatsoever other than the fact of it being political? And it is just that. Now, you know, it is a problem, and we've got to deal with it, and it's not very fair. And it's going to, it almost approaches, you know, it almost approaches blackmail. But with all that being said, we'll deal with it. Some way, somehow, we'll get through it, and we'll get this thing back on track and everything. But I hate like crazy that it's caused, you know, something like this causes so much, you know, anxiousness or worry or time, Facebook time or whatever. But Beth, I appreciate your question. You're kind in your words about saving the Greenbrier a long time ago. You know, it really made me proud to be able to do that. But there's been a lot of proud moments. There's a lot of really good people at the Greenbrier. Nearly 2,000 employees, and you know what's going on here is just, to be perfectly honest, it's just rotten. It's all there is to it. It's just rotten. But we'll get it.
Okay, thank you, Beth. Next up is Charles Young with WV News.
Hi, this is Charles Young with WV News. Governor, I wanted to kind of follow up on Mark's question a little bit, but in the context of our July revenue report. You know, July's revenues came in about 2.2 million under estimate. And I wonder if there's anything in our most recent financial picture that you have accounted into that vetting that has made you sort of change your calculations on the tax plan. Thank you, sir.
No, Charles, I really, the way our folks see this is this. They basically thought July was going to be, for all practical purposes, flat, and it was. We were a couple $1 million under estimate. We're kind of anticipating that August will be very similar to July. It seems like there's that lag and everything in the summer, and it seems like that's what I'm being told that we should expect in the month of August. We should expect the same kind of performance. Us come in under budget and everything, and as far as the revenue, but then everybody believes that September is going to really bounce back really strong, and we would expect significant growth in September. And so that's for all I know, all I can do is always just report to you the truth. But I had a at-length discussion last night with Larry Pack, our Secretary of Revenue, and that was the words that Larry was telling me last night.
Okay, thank you, Charles. Next up is Katie Coyne with West Virginia Watch.
Hi, Governor. Thanks for taking this today. And I want to say this comes from me and a few other members of our media who couldn't be here today. We talk a lot about how much we value our coal miners. I don't think anyone doubts that you care about coal miners. But in a filing this week from the federal government that moved to hold your coal companies in contempt for failure to fully pay off years worth of mining, health, and safety fines, the filing noted that paying these fines are kind of an important tool to hold coal companies accountable and ensure that they're protecting the miners who work for them. Are your coal companies going to pay those fines? And generally, kind of going this week or so, politics aside, what's the financial situation at your family's businesses right now?
It's Katie, is that correct? Katie, for some reason, I can't hear you really well. It's kind of muffled and a lot of different things. But Katie, I would tell you just this, and it's I don't know how many times I got to tell you all this, really and truly. At the end of the day, first and foremost, I'm not involved in anywhere close to the daily operations, anywhere close to what you would think that I would know of our businesses. This is my job right here. But I can tell you this, that, things are, just like anyone, from time to time, you have a tough go of it and everything, but every single time, I don't know how many times I got to tell you, if there's a problem, it gets taken care of, and we take care of it and everything. Sure, we may be a few minutes late to the fire, but we always show up at the fire, and I think, for the most part, we should be really proud of the employment and the work that Jay and Jill are doing every day. I think they do great.
All right, Katie, thank you. Governor, back to you.
Well, nevertheless, I just want to just go back to just really one thing, and that is this. I can't say it enough. We lost Joe Crandall. We lost another coal miner. It makes me just plain sick to think of the mud that's thrown at our coal industry and our coal miners all the time. And this is from a lot of people that are so misinformed about what's going on in this world. And I've got to just tell you this. Now, please just stay with me just a second. Every country in the world, every single country in the world, the more energy they have, the longer they live, the healthier they are, and on and on and on. Every country in the world, that's a fact. You please tell me why in the United States, a country that abounds in natural resources like we can't imagine, whether it be our oil workers or our coal miners, whether it be all the incredible findings that we have now on gas and the amazing amounts of potential with natural gas. Whether it be our alternatives, whether it be solar or wind or hydro or nuclear, whatever it may be, all in, I am the guy that said 10 million times, we should be all in. All the alternatives, welcome. All the fossil fuels, welcome. There may be a day, but it's surely to God above. It's not today. It's not in the decades, in the near-term decades ahead of us, that we can get rid of our fossil fuels. It is crazy to be doing that and to be thinking that thought. Absolutely. We need a national energy policy. Our national energy policy would drive down every single part of everything that we would have. Donald Trump says, drill, baby, drill. You dadgum right. When energy prices when energy prices fall and the abundance grows and the availability grows, we'll be better in every way. Inflation, number one. And, we'll think of inflation as a thing of the past. There's so many things. But Joe Crandall died. Joe Crandall died trying to make your lives and my life better. We should always remember that. Please keep him in your prayers. Thank you so very much. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.